All right, this video is going to be about metric units of mass. When we are talking about mass, mass is the amount of matter in an object, how much stuff is there. And so we use two different units normally when we're talking about metric units of mass. There are actually several more, but the two that we use most often are grams and kilograms. And I have here two weights to show you what they look like. So this one is a gram weight, and it's teeny tiny. It's very light, you know, maybe like even like a penny or even lighter than a penny. And then this one doesn't look very big, but it's really heavy. I'm not just faking it. It feels pretty heavy. So this is a kilogram. So a gram, super light. Kilogram is really heavy. And it takes 1,000 of these grams to make or equal the mass of this kilogram. Now, because I know you don't have these at home to feel, if you want to figure out how they feel, how heavy they feel, a big paper clip like this is about the same as 1 gram. So one paper clip has a mass of about 1 gram. And then I did some, and I can actually show you, I can kind of prove it to you. Here's a little simple balance scale. And if I put the gram weight on one side, you can see it goes down a little bit. And when I put the paper clip, see how it equaled out? That's saying that this paper clip has the mass of 1 gram. And then I can show you with this book right here. I looked and looked and looked, and I finally found a book that has a mass of about 1 kilogram. So these are about the same. And I have a different kind of scale here, and it measures pounds and kilograms going around. Pounds are actually a measure of weight, but we won't worry about that right now. So I'm going to put my book on there, and I want you to watch the needle, how the needle moves. It goes down, and then it's pointing right at the 1 for 1 kilogram. So this is a reading book. It's got a hardcover, so it's about 1 kilogram. I also tried it out with a math workbook, and that was pretty close. It wasn't exact, but not a super big book like a dictionary, but a kind of heavy book has the mass of a kilogram. All right, so those are the units, grams and kilograms. Let's take a look at some of the tools. Oh, before we do that, though, let's think about for a second. If we were to measure something like maybe a marker or an eraser, which do you think you would measure these in? Would you use grams or kilograms? So remember, grams or kilograms to measure something not very light like this. If you said grams, you're right. It would make sense to measure in the smaller units because these aren't very heavy. But if I needed to know the mass of this big bucket of books, it doesn't look very heavy, but it's pretty heavy. If I needed to know the mass of this big bucket of books, what would you measure that in? If you said kilograms, you're right, because it's certainly more than 1 kilogram. So we would measure in kilograms for this big bucket of books. So if you have something light, you want to measure it in grams. If you have something heavy, you want to measure in kilograms. All right. So let's take a look at some of the kinds of tools that we can use to measure mass. I already showed you these first two kinds of balance scales. Sometimes you might have at home a bathroom scale like this, and usually this measures in pounds, which I told you is a measurement of weight, but some scales can be changed into kilograms. So if you have one at home, see if your scale can be, like the settings can be changed and you can see what your mass is in kilograms. Maybe check that out. You might have seen something that looks kind of like this. Sometimes it has a clear plate on the top, but this is a kitchen scale or a digital scale, and sometimes people use them to measure things at home in their kitchen. So this one can measure in grams, and it can measure a few kilograms, but mostly you use it for small things. Here's one more that you might have seen in your science or math class before, and it is a pan balance, and you put things on one side, it's going to go down on the other, and then you would use gram weight. So here's a box of gram weights that you would use to figure out how much it weighs, or the mass of it, not how much it weighs, the mass of it. So let's actually try this eraser, see how it goes far. So I'm going to make a guess. This one right here, the number on it says 50. So let's see if it has a mass of 50 grams. Ooh, this one went down, so that means this is too much. I need to put on less. So why don't I try, ooh, here's a 20. Let's try a 20. That was not enough, so I'm going to keep going. Another 20 would make it too much. So here's a 10. So I have a 20 and a 10. I know that's 30. It's got to be more than 30. Let's put on 5. 35. All right, I think I'm going to have to count by ones. 36. 37. I should be going soon. 38. 39. 40. Oh, it's barely moving. 41. Maybe it's over 40. Actually, let me go back. I'll put on 5 from there. So I'm at 40. Oh, 45. 46. And now that it's flat, that tells me that however much is on here together has the same mass as what's on this side. So this eraser is 46 grams, which another way to think about that, has the same mass as 46 paper clips. All right, so that is what you need to know for now about grams and kilograms and measuring mass using metric measurements.